What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. It is March. Let me double check. I believe it's March 2nd. March 2nd, 2023. Time flies. Coach Zai here. I've been wanting to share my journey and the process and things that I've been through and things that I continue to go through, whether they're good, they're bad, because I think that there's so many people out there that need to hear things. They need to know that others go through the same type of things, and myself. And I like to share it because it kind of gets it off my chest. I make myself be the underdog in about everything in life. I'll try to twist it and turn it, and I think that's what makes me a great coach and what's going to make me a great coach. And I'm going to talk about that, what Coach Zai really means. Obviously, Zai, if you don't know, my last name is Zyla. Everybody's called me Big Zai, my entire life, so I've just kind of taken that and ran with it. But now I'm ready to share my journey, and my journey is far from over, and it's really just getting started. So I'm gonna throw out some words for you. If you don't follow me on the other social medias, please do. Facebook, Instagram, Snap, Twitter. I'm really gonna share my fitness journey on Facebook and Instagram. Today, March 2nd, is a big day. I will start posting pictures. And I have been too shy, not confident, a lot of words to not be able to do that. But I'm ready, and I feel that if I do that, people will ask you, why do you post? Why do you waste your time? This, and that. I don't get paid. If I got paid, sure, it'd be nice, but that's not why I'm doing this. I think that I use YouTube and social medias to be influenced, whether it's professional athletes. Some of the people that have influenced me are Kobe, RIP to a legend, Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, some of the greatest in some of their quotes, David Goggins on YouTube, Rogan. There's just so many people when you hear their stories. Eric Thomas, I think Eric Thomas has motivated us all. If you haven't listened to an Eric Thomas video, I don't think you have ever been on YouTube. So I think that those people have influenced me. So if I have a chance to tell my story, and sure, I'm not them, nor do I ever want to be them, but everybody has their own story, and I think that my story can relate to my platform, which is people that I know, people that I connect with, athletes that I've been able to coach, athletes that know who I am, other coaches that know who I am, friends, family, even enemies, rivals, and you kind of talk about what that means to me, and it will all relate. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to try to do minimally a podcast a week about my journey, about things that stick out. I love to talk about sports. I always do those videos, but I'm really going to be sharing my journey because it's time. So I'm going to rewind you pretty much a year in my life. So I was in one of the lowest moments of my life. I was ready to quit coaching. I was ready to give up, pretty much. I was very depressed, and I had to look in the mirror and grow up. I got fired. I had to just look in the mirror and not blame anybody else, but say, what can I do to become the person that I want to be? And somebody might say that, and it's easy to say things that happen. People get fired for the dumbest things all the time, or it's easy to blame other people. And what I've learned is when I'm coaching, I try to tell my players, I try to tell my other coaches, I try to tell myself, you have to look in the mirror first, right? If you coach a game, the first person you should look at is yourself after the game, and then watch, evaluate yourself, and then you can evaluate your team and your players. That's the only fair way to do it. I think that's the only real way to do it. That's the way to look at life every day, is when you get home, evaluate yourself on how your day was. And then you can evaluate the others and whether they're good, bad, indifferent in your life. You'll be able to make those decisions. So I had to do that. Now I'm very, very blessed, and I'm going to talk about this a million times in my podcast, to find the love of my life. And it's so much deeper than attraction of, whatever. There's so many reasons, right, why you pick somebody you love. but or somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with. But I found my partner, my best friend, somebody that pushes me, somebody that sticks with me in the worst times, and somebody that challenges me to be better. And man, if I didn't have her in that time of my life, I'm not sure where I would have went. I think I made myself believe that I needed to get away for a boot camp. And when I say get away, I don't know what that meant. And what ended up happening, life worked out. We moved. I moved from Michigan to San Antonio, Texas. And when I got down here, I was able to just work on myself. So, what did I start working on? Well, the first thing I wanted to work on was fitness. And what do I say that? I'm still not where I want to be. I'm getting there though. And so my competitive fuel is driven. So what I did in the past when I failed, whether I quit, whether a job didn't work out, whether for whatever reason it was, I would just jump into the next job, find the next coaching job, call my connections, call people, and just go do it. That was not doing me any good because I wasn't looking in the mirror. I wasn't reaching, my potential. And the thing is I would work really hard at coaching because that's what I loved. But then I was forgetting to do the other things, and that's grow myself, that's stay in shape, that's build my relationship, that's all those things. So then I would cheat, I would cut, I would do dumb things in other areas because I wasn't being disciplined, I wasn't being mature, I wasn't doing all those things in that area. So I had to go to war with myself. And I say this all the time now, you versus you. And what does that mean? What does that mean to what does that really mean? That means that my best version, if I want to get to my best version, I've got to be able to beat my worst version. I can't let that worst version ever come out. And that worst version will try to come out every single day of every moment. And it just takes one slip up, and then that leads to 2 slip ups, 3 slip ups. And those slip ups could be with money, those slip ups could be with your relationship, those slip ups could be with your diet, those slip ups could be with, not working out, those slip ups could be thinking you're better than what you are and kind of telling yourself that when you're really falling down the totem pole. Greatest part about life is competitive. It doesn't matter whether you're in work, relationships, sports, everything, right? Everything is competitive. If you're not doing the things you're supposed to do with your spouse, they're going to go find somebody else, as they should, right? If you're not doing what you should at your job, probably get fired, as you should. If you're not making yourself better as a coach, you're not going to get the best players, right? They'll see that and they'll go find somebody else that gives them the better opportunity, as they should, right? So all those things line up, and you may have all the tools, but again, you can have all the tools, but if you don't know how to use them, if you don't know how to be efficient with them, if you don't know how to do all that, what good are you? And that's what I had to do, look in the mirror. I believe that I can be one of the best coaches, and my dream is to be a college basketball coach and win a national championship. I think that I see the game at a high level. I'm not going to say I know I see the game at a high level. It comes natural to me. And someday I'm going to be a college basketball coach. I might be 35. I might be 45. I might be 60. I will not quit. I had to figure out deep down, though, if that's what I really wanted. So, again, I said a year ago. So let's talk about what I've done in that year. Moved. I've lost weight. I've put on a lot of muscle. I've changed my diet. I've grown my relationship with my soon-to-be wife. I don't know that I believed in myself at one moment, and that's tough for me to say. I portray to be very, very confident, and I think that I was looking in the mirror and I was like, man, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe coaching isn't for you. Maybe you're not cut for it. But now I'm back, and when I say I'm back, I'm not back. I'm here. I'm better than ever, and I want to share that with people because I know people go through things all the time in life. It may not be with sports. It may not be with, but mental health and failure and dealing with these types of things is hard. It's very hard, and it's hard to talk about it, and it's hard to deal with. So I'm just gonna throw some words out and we're gonna talk about it. Sacrifice. So I'll tell you my story, talk about what sacrifice means. As I say these things to you, and if you're listening and you watch this video, I want you to think about it when I say that. What does sacrifice mean? So for me, sacrifice was giving up coaching for a period of time to now become that person and the coach that I want to be, so that when the next opportunity comes, I'm ready. I'm ready and I'm going to go full at it. That was really hard. It's really hard because if I would have just jumped in another coaching gig, I wouldn't have looked in the mirror. I wouldn't have got better. I would have just kept going, right? And I would have been like, oh, stuff, shit happens, life happens, failures happen, but you just bounce back. And I wanted to bounce back, but I don't want to fail no more. And I want to fail in coaching. I don't want to fail outside of coaching. I want to fail in coaching. I had to get my life together. I'm blessed. I just told you guys this, right? I'm blessed that my fiance has her life together. She's an amazing nurse. She has everything together. I don't have any of that. I didn't have any of that together, right? So I had to come down here and work, make some money. I had to come down here and say, Ryan, can you do this? When it's not easy, can you do this? Can you leave all your friends? Especially when your friends are coaching, right? They're in coaching their season. I got high school coaches. I got some friends that are coaching college, all sorts of, and they're all going to talk basketball with you and all this. And, I got people that coach football. I got all that. Are you going to be able to handle that? That was tough. It's really tough. But I had to be able to do that, okay? So, what did I sacrifice? I sacrificed coaching, the hardest thing, the thing that I love the most. My fiance's here and coaching is right here as well. Those two things are right there. I can't live without either one of them, okay? They're 1A and 1B. MJ and LeBron. Don't need the comments on that, but you guys get the point, right? Tiger and Jack. That's those type of things. So, I had to sacrifice that. Failure. When you fail, especially somebody like me, my expectations for myself, I told you, I think I can win a D1 national championship someday. That's high expectations. So every day that I'm not doing that, I'm looking at myself like I'm a failure. And what I had to do was, and thanks to a lot of people in my life, I had to learn to love the grind. I had to learn to love the process, and I had to learn to celebrate small victories. The smallest victory may be that I went to the gym today and that I ate good, or that I read a book, or that I finished a class on my online schooling. Those are very little victories, right? When you're talking about the big picture of winning a national championship. But I had to learn to love that process. And I had to learn that that's you versus you every day. Because part of me, the part of me that believes that I'm ready and I want to go take a job right now, and I've wanted to take a job for the last year, is that I wasn't ready. But that part of me is always going to tell me, go do it, you're ready. You'll figure all the other shit out. No, you got to figure the other shit out first. And that's the hardest thing to do. So, failure is very, very hard for me because I'm the biggest critic of myself. I won't talk about it. I won't be about it. I won't show it. But there's so many sleepless nights, so many times I'm looking in the mirror, so many times this, and this, and I'm like, man, you're a bum. You're an idiot. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why, how is he coaching? You're not. How, those types of things. That's what I've dealt with, and that's what goes through my mind, and it is a challenge, that's for sure. And I had to learn to control that. I had to learn to believe in myself. I had to learn to celebrate those small victories and understand that, you know what, instead of walking in a room and pointing the finger and say, I deserve this job, let's go prove to yourself and prove to others that you do. And I shouldn't even say others. Let's go prove to yourself and make yourself believe that you're in that job. And it's not even about anybody else now. It's about me, and I'm going to show you the work I've done. Getting back up. This is tough because when you fail, my biggest thing is you're embarrassed yourself, right? You don't want to talk about it. And you think the whole world is looking at you when, whether it is you're broke, you did get fired, that job didn't work out, you lost games, maybe your relationship isn't going well, maybe your diet's not going well, maybe you've added some weight, and now all of a sudden when you get in these areas, you think everybody's looking at you and everybody's critiquing you. It doesn't really matter if they're looking, critiquing, judging. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you think about yourself. So that was the thing. I felt like I had the world looking at me. It didn't matter what was happening. I was looking at me, and I was like, I had given up on myself. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever been to deal with, was to get back up. And how to get back up was just take one step at a time. Tie those shoes and take one step at a time. So, what did I have to do to get back up and to be able to get that fire back to want to go be a college basketball coach and to now prioritize things to make that happen within the next couple of years. Okay, first thing was fitness. I hated the way I looked. Even when I was on the sideline, I'd see pictures of that. You're fat. You're fucking fat, right? And that's tough to do. And that's what I looked at. I told you I'm still fat, but I've been grinding. And I'm gonna continue to grind. I'll tell you that. And I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna win a room over when I walk into it. And is that the biggest thing? No, it's not. But what it is gonna do is that I'm gonna be able to play hoops. I'm gonna be able to show things, and I'm gonna be able to, just do things with athletes and with my loved ones. Right? I want to have kids soon. I want to be able to do those things with kids and not be out of breath and not be, I want to be able to show things in a practice and not be. So that was a big thing with me. That was something that was in the back of my mind, and it's hard to talk about that. So if you struggle with that, I'm here. I'm here to help you. I'll tell you some of the things. I still struggle with it to this day. Like I said, I'm going to post later, and it's the first time, and I'm nervous. I'm nervous talking about it right now. But there was nobody else to blame. I was fat because of me. Poor diet choices, not working out, whatever reasons you may want. I could give you 100 reasons. So fix one at a time, one at a time, one at a time. Am I there? No. Do I still eat some bad food? Yes. Do I still do some diet things I shouldn't? Yes. Do I still try to go 0 to 100 in the gym sometimes and it kills me and then it throws me back a week? Yes. But you know what? I'm starting to get very, very consistent, and the results are starting to show. I think you'll see that in my pictures. I still got 100 pounds I want to lose. That's a lot of weight. We're getting there. I've been talking about you versus you. I think you versus you is the greatest thing an athlete, a person can learn. Because I think that's your biggest competitor. Once you can learn and be confident with who you are and trust the work that you put in. And I told you I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan. I think Kobe talked about that he was able to retire because he knew he gave it all, his all. And I think that once you know that you're giving it your all and you're doing everything that you can, the results you'll be very pleased with. And that's what I've had to come to, is that it's me versus me. A lot of times I'll be like, oh, well, this is holding me back, or blah, 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 this and that. It really comes down to that. It's me. I'm the one saying those things. I'm the one believing those things. I'm the one making those things up in my head. And so I had to become you versus you. And it's a lot of reading, a lot of YouTube motivational videos for me, and a lot of just self-growth. And celebrating those little battles has been huge. And just being consistent, like, hey, if I want to battle myself every day, then go compete, right? Go compete with yourself. And it may be the dumbest thing. It may be that I ran the mile a second faster and my mile was like 16 minutes. Right? Most people would be like, you ran a mile in 16 minutes? Like, I can walk that. But that was a big thing for me. And as long as I knew that I would give my best effort that day, I don't give a fuck how fast you run the mile. Because it's me versus me and I'm battling it, right? It may be that I want to bench 400. It may be that, I want to do one more rep in curls. It may be that I want to make $1 extra this month. And sometimes I lose. You're going to lose you versus you sometimes. But that should make you that much more hungrier to go succeed the next day or the next goal or, whatever it is, the next rep. So that's becoming a huge thing with me. I've been talking about fitness. I can't talk about fitness enough. You don't need to be a power lifter. You don't need to be a marathon runner. Maybe you want those things. You need to figure out what it is for you. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's walking. Maybe it's running. Maybe it is lifting. Maybe it's CrossFit. Maybe it's Orange Theory. Whatever it is, and you need it in your life. I 100% believe that. I think fitness is such a big thing for mental health, and it doesn't need to be over the top. You need to just figure it out. 30, 45 minutes. Maybe if you're more into it, it's an hour to 2 hours a day, but figure it out. And you need to be able to have that. It's become such a big thing for me. I think that Libby would tell you that when I don't work out, I'm in a much worse mood. And I think that that's a great thing. So again, in that fitness is you versus you, right? I'm sore, I'm tired, I want to do this, I want to do that. You got to just go get it in every day. And there's some days I still don't get it in. But again, that's that competitiveness coming back. So I think fitness is huge. I'm not going to lecture you guys on fitness. I'm just going to tell you I think it's huge for mental health. I think it's a great motivator, and I think that it puts you in a much better spot. Again, it doesn't need to be, you don't have to go to the gym. You can go walk. You can walk on your lunch. You can, walk to get the mail. You can walk around your apartment complex. You can walk your pets. Maybe it is yoga. You can do yoga right on your porch, right in your living room. So those types of things, like fitness comes in so many different ways and options now, and you just need to figure out what it is for you and set some goals and go get that. Okay. Mental health. Mental health is one of the biggest topics in today's world, and it's not going anywhere. And it is very true. The biggest thing about mental health for me is that you have to be able to. Um, I'm trying to think. What do they say when you have an addiction? The hardest thing is to admit it. That's the thing for mental health, right? Is what is really holding you back, and are you willing to admit it? For me, 28 years of my life, 29 years almost. I'm 30. I turned 31 in September. I was not able to. I would hide. I'm not gonna say hide, but I would just push these under the rug because I was competitive, and I was just like, oh, whatever, that shit don't matter. That's not true. It will catch up to you. I promise you that. So, I think that I've grown up more in 1 year than I have in 29 years, and I have so many people to thank for that. I have so many people to say thank you, and that could be a previous boss. It could be somebody that motivated me, my fiance, my friends. I got I've got a couple of the best friends. We stay in touch. I moved halfway across the country, basically on a, hey, I'm gonna go do this. I think it's best for me and my fiance, and I think they're looking at me like, you'll be back, but I don't think. Again, I didn't share with them everything that's going on. They're gonna watch this video and think, damn, man, that's deep. But I didn't need to share it with them. It wasn't their fucking problem. It was right here in my chest. It was my fucking problem, and I had to deal with it. And I know that everybody out there has problems. I know somebody is going to watch this and think, you ain't lying. Write it down. Stare at it. I have a journal where I write my notebooks down, and it says weight on there. And, some people, this doesn't work for everybody. You got to find what motivates you. On the weight, I write down fat ass because it motivates me to, go work out a little bit harder. You want to lose more pounds. Did I really think I'm fat? Yeah, I am still fat, but do I really truly look at fat? Like, no, I'm not that negative. Okay, and that's not for everybody. But find something that motivates you. And that's what I'm saying, because that's the part in mental health is I had to admit I'm fat. I had to admit I need growth. I need to learn to trust myself. I need to be able to put myself in some situations that I'm not going to make the same decisions that I've made for 29 years of my life. Because if I'm going to go lead young men and young women the rest of my life and be the coach, be Coach Zai, right? And towards the end, I'll tell you who Coach Zai is and what Coach Zai wants to be and how he's going to go about his career. Then I had to become those things, and that's very hard to do. It's almost like a rebirth, right? That's how I felt. But I had to check you're fat, check you're lazy, check you're selfish, check you're not willing to do the hard work, check you point the finger at other people. You're looking down. Next thing you know, you got 50 check marks. You're broke. There's so many check marks that were going on. That is overwhelming. That is hard. And a lot of people I know, because by the time I got to check 3, I was like, fuck this. But I just had to keep doing it. And then all the thing is, then you start adding other check marks. But then you get nitpicky, and that's a good thing. That's when it starts to get real good. Because when you start to get nitpicky, that means you're growing and you're advancing. So that's my mental health. Take it serious. Don't be afraid to go get professional help. Don't be afraid to talk to your loved ones. But you got to be very open about it. But you have to be open with yourself before you can go tell anybody else. And that was the hardest thing for me. And that's why I'm sharing this video, because I know that if I can get the strength and the confidence to do it, it will help somebody else out there. And that's all that this video is about. Let's talk about finances. I know money stresses the hell out of people because money is my number one kryptonite. And I'm going to tell you what about money is. I owe people money. I have thousands of dollars of debt in student loans, and I haven't even finished my college degree yet. But I've used money as an excuse. I didn't do this because of money. I didn't do that because of money. I didn't do that because of money. And it's been very, very, very tough. It weighs on me. It still weighs on me to this day. If I didn't say that, I'll be lying. But what I've come to grow is I just do my best now. And what that means, I go to work, I clock in and out, I pay the bills that need to be paid. And when I get extra money, I pay people back, and I'll pay people back. And you know what? They may get pissed off because it took a lot longer than what it should have. But someday they'll understand. That's what I say. They'll understand, right? They're not gonna be mad when you give them the money. That's what they want. But man, when you start to make a list of your finances, that shit stresses you out. And we all know life, right? As soon as you think you got an extra $400 or $500 in the bank, flat tire, gotta fix your truck, house, pets gotta go to the vet, something, right? I'm paying for a wedding right now. Anybody that's been married, they understand how that goes, right? So again, I'm blessed. My fiance has her life together. She's our rock, right? She's our rock in a lot of things, and so I'm blessed with that. But finances are very hard. What I recommend is be honest with yourself. And even to this day, it's hard for me to be honest with myself because when I start to think about it, I get real depressed because then I think like, man, you're 30 and you have this much debt. Like what the? But I'll die trying to become a college coach, and I will not use the excuse that finances held me back. And that's been my mindset now, and it's helped a lot. My finances have gotten better. But a lot of that is too my fiance's organization and pushing me, and helping us be disciplined. But I've gotten better. I'm proud of that. But that's one that I have to check, be better at, and I'm trying to be better at it every day. But it's something that I know weighs on a lot of people. But when we talk about the word dream, and that's what this podcast was all about today, and my dream is to be a college basketball coach, I'm not gonna say I didn't graduate school because I couldn't pay for it. Find a way, right? I'm gonna find a way, and that's gonna be my mindset. I'm gonna get that degree because I want to go coach, a Division 1 or a JUCO or whatever. I want to become a D3 coach, and I need that degree to do that. And so it doesn't matter if that degree costs $185,000. I'll fucking make it happen. And that's how I want your mindset to be when it comes to your dreams. Your dream may to be a professional athlete. Your dream may be to run a business. Your dream may be to be the best father out there. Your dream may be to be the best mom. Your dream may be to help people in need. In order to do that, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And that's what my mindset is. I'll go broke trying. Do I want to be broke? Hell no. I want to take care of it. I want to tell my fiance, you don't got to work no more. Go live life. I got you. Am I there? No. Will I get there? I believe that, yes, I will get there. But I'm going to look back on it. I made some dumb decisions in my early 20s. I made dumb decisions in my late 20s. And so that's the ground. That's why I said I grew up more in 1 year than I had in forever. And it's hard because you just, when you're young, you don't think about anything. I'll pay that later. I'll pay that later. Well, next thing you know, you're trying to pay that. Well, now you got to pay the other stuff. It's just, it weighs on you, right? And then people judge and people get in and people want their money. And it is very hard. And that's what, if I could recommend learning anything in high school and early in your college, is talk to people that are really good with their money and learn what they did. Because I just did it and it fucked me. And it's something that weighs on me every day. But it's not something that I'm going to point the finger and blame anybody else anymore. It's on me. That's just the bottom line. I had to learn. I made a lot of damn mistakes and I'm owning them now. And part of owning them is getting my shit together, right? So that's where it is on that. So talked about finances. Let's talk about loved ones. Family, friends, spouses, whatever it is. These people are so important. In your inner circle, okay? I'll talk more about your inner circle. Your inner circle needs to be people that make you better. And what do I mean by that? It is so hard to tell somebody that you don't want to be their friend anymore. You can be their friend. You can be there for them when they need it. But what you need to learn is whether those people are there for you to make you better. And people that want to make you better, there's uncomfortable conversations. My best friends, we have uncomfortable conversations. I truly believe that. I can challenge them, they can challenge me, and we might say, fuck you, bro, and that might be it for the night, but then we move on with it. And that's a true brotherhood, that's a true friendship. It's the same thing with your spouse, right? Libby and I have conversations sometimes where I'm like, do we need to put the boxing gloves on? And no, I would never hurt her, and we wouldn't, but that's where we get, right? Because we get heated and we disagree, and I'm a competitive person, I have an ego, and and that's the thing, and that's the way it is, and it gets tough. And that's where the overthinking comes in and all of that, right? But you got to have people in your inner circle, family, friends, loved ones, whatever, that they're there, they want to be better, and they're going to make you be better, right? You don't need people that lurk off of you. I've been a lurker before. I think we probably all have been lurkers before. And I look back and I'm like, man, I feel bad. I want to apologize to all those people. I've also had people lurk off of me before. You don't want that either. What you want is somebody that you're like, man, look at this dude. He's out here busting his ass. That makes me want to bust my ass, right? Oh, this dude just went to the gym. Not a chance he's getting better than me today. Oh, look at this dude. He just made a homemade salad and chicken. Look at that. No McDonald's for me today. I'm going home. We're cooking. Those are the type of, that's what the stuff I'm talking about. And those are things that relate in my life, right? I'm working on diet, fitness, stuff like that, right? I want to be around the best coaches. I want to learn from them, but I also want people that, as a coach, know that I'm coming for your seat, but it's respect, right? I want to be in your seat someday, but I'm going to learn from you, and then I'm going to be better than you. And so what I want to do is make that person better because I want to make him a little uncomfortable. Those are the type of people. I mean, they need to have your back, but they need to be real with you. And those are really hard conversations, and it's very hard to pick and choose those people. And you really got to look in the mirror. I think it's a list. Make a list of the 20 people that you would consider in your inner circle, and I bet that you would probably take 5 out right away. And you would know that by the time you even wrote their name down. It's the truth. It is how it is. I think since moving down here, my circle probably went from about, I don't know, the size of my head. I got a fat head, and it's probably about the size of my eye now. Okay, if I did a circle around my eye, that's what it is. It's probably about the size of my eye. And it's no offense to those people, right? They just weren't the best thing for my life at that time, right? And you know what? It is what it is. I needed that. And who knows, my inner circle might get smaller. Now, I've met some people down here. I've got friends down here and stuff like that. But I had to really lock in who needs to know things about my life and the direction I'm headed and that stuff. And the people that are meant to be, they'll be there. But it takes tough. And sometimes it is the closest people that you got to let go. And you know what? They'll let you know about it every time you talk to them. Oh, you don't do this enough. You don't do that enough. You know, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. And you just say, you know what, man? You can, whatever. But at the end of the day, you weren't making me better. Sorry about it. And I wasn't making you better. So by fairness and by life, we just went our 2 different directions. Like, that's the way it is. I got your back, man, if you need something. But at the end of the day, we're not going to talk like that no more. Like, it is what it is. And that's a very tough conversation. I'm going to talk about rivals and enemies. I don't like to say I hate people. I think the only thing I hate in this world is Ohio State. No, I'm serious about that. But like, I don't like to say that I hate people. I'm too much of I believe in people. I believe in second chances, third chances, fourth chances, and I never want to give up on somebody. That doesn't mean that you can't use rivals and enemies. Is what I like to use it as. People that maybe don't believe in you. People maybe that did you wrong. People maybe that put you in situations, or you went through situations that you look back on and you're like, man, and that stuff fuels you, right? And that's something that I use a lot. I have so many situations and so many people that I wanted to say I hated for so long. But I had to be willing to not blame them for that situation and blame myself. And that took 29 years. And some of those situations were even year 29. And now I look on it and I'm like, man, I don't even care about the person that was involved. What I care about is how I fucked it up and how I even put myself in those situations. And that's tough as a 30-year-old to admit those things. That's tough, I think, for anybody to admit those things. But I use it as fuel. It doesn't mean I'm going to go be his best friend. That doesn't mean I'm going to talk to him. But it doesn't mean I wish bad on them. It means that I hope everything goes well for them. But just know, you fuel me every day. And when I'm successful, I'll thank you for that. And that's the way it is. So you could be a previous boss. It could be a previous friend. It could be a previous relationship person you had a relationship with. It can be whatever it is that it needs to be for you. A previous situation, a sporting event. You don't want to have that feeling of losing ever again, right? Whatever it is to find that fuel, okay? But I'm not one. I don't like bad mouthing people. I don't like to say I hate them. Just all right. That's how business is handled. Let's move on. Let's move on. And now my fire just I was burning a little bit, burning some twigs. Well, now we got a forest fire inside of me. That's how fueled I am now. And that's how I view it. And that's how I think it's a good way to view it. Everybody has the way to get motivated. That's how I get motivated. But I will tell you this is a very key, and this is something I'm just learning. I'm still dealing with it. For the longest time, I wanted to prove everybody wrong. Everybody. I said this at the beginning. I'm an underdog. I always find the way to be an underdog. Well, now I'm done proving people wrong, and I'm here to prove myself and my inner circle that I'm right. The people that know that I can be, And what I mean by prove that I'm right, prove that I can be successful, prove that I can achieve the dreams that I have. And it doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. I want to be a college coach. What does that have to do with anybody else? Nothing. It means that I can go do that if I want to. My friends want to be successful. They want to have families. I'm going to push them to do that. Maybe they want to. I got friends that want to be coaches. I got friends that want to be. Own a lake house. I want to own a lake house. My fiance saves lives for a living. So I gotta help her be at the best of that ability. Not hold her back, not do any of that, not say go prove, go save that person's life because so and so said you couldn't do that. No, go save his life because you're damn good at your job, and you're awesome at that. So that's what I'm trying to do, and that's how I am. So I'm done proving people wrong. I'm just here to prove that I can achieve the things that I believe that I can achieve, and that's hard to do. It's a very hard thing to do, and I'm not 100% there with it, because I'll still I get pissed off. I'm like, fuck him. I'll prove him wrong. Fuck him. I'll shit on him. Fuck this. I remember that. And you think about it like that, but eventually you'll run out of things like that. So then your motivation will be gone. Your drive will be gone. So my drive comes from, I just want to be better every day. I want to be the best version of Coach Zai. And what does that stand for? That's where we lead into. I've talked about so much, so many things I've been through. Don't ever quit. I told you about a year ago I wanted to quit, and it's been one of the best journeys of my life. I'm proud of the man I've become. I'm proud of the coach that I'm gonna be. I'm proud of the husband I'm gonna be. I'm ready to be a father when that time is right. I'm not dropping no news bombs, but when that time is right, I'm ready. I think I've become a better friend. I think that I'm able to handle life much differently now. I'm much more mature. I'm a late bloomer, I guess. I guess that's the way to say it. It took everything. It took me to hit rock bottom, and it took me to have to look in the mirror, and it took some great people in my life to just kind of put reality. And I got tired of fucking hearing it from certain people. But then, one day I think I just looked in the mirror and I said, they're right. He ain't lying. He ain't fucking lying. So what are you going to do about it, Ryan? And this is where I'm going to tell you about Coach Zai. I heard a quote, Terry Francor from, I think he is the Cleveland Guardians manager now. And they said, what would you do without baseball? And he said, I would be sitting outside. I'd be sitting, at home or my job, whatever it is. And all I would think about is that I want to be involved in baseball. And I think when I heard that, I was like, that's a good quote. And then I think I was driving and I was like, what the fuck? Did he just speak to me? Did he just get in my soul? And what I mean by that is that I thought about that in basketball and I said, well, it's time, Ryan. That was the clue. It's time to get back. So who is Coach Zai? Coach Zai is a dude that loves basketball. He loves sports. He loves being competitive. There's no other feeling in life than when I'm on the sideline. And I've known that I wanted to be a college coach since I was a senior in high school. And a lot of my credit goes out to my dad. My dad is still a coach in high school, and he works crazy amount of hours, and he has great passion. I learned that. I remember being like 4th, 5th grade, being on his benches, and knowing things more than his players. So a lot of credit goes to him. A lot of credit goes to coaches I've had, but it was just like God blessed me with that talent, and I want to use it. The other part is that coaches have motivated me, and they were such a big part of my life that I want to be that way to athletes, and I want to be at the highest level. I want to coach people that love the game and want to get better, just like I do. And it took me a long time, and what I want to do is say, hey man, you're 19, don't make the same mistake I did when I was 19. And I want to be able to impact people like that. And I don't know when my college job will come. It might be tomorrow. It might be 5 years, 10 years, like I said. But I'm going to get back in the game. I'm excited. I'm going to start sharing some stuff on my social medias about how I'm going to be back in the game. And it's just been challenging. And I wanted to be able to get on here and share these things that I've been through, because I know that there's individuals and people that go through those things, and I know that they're not willing to share. And if you need to message me privately, I'm here. I'm here to help anybody that needs help. I'm also here to tell you that I don't have it all figured out, and I don't think anybody has it all figured out. And even those people that point the finger, trust me, they don't have it all figured out. But what I figured out is it's you versus you, baby. And you have to be willing to grind. And you have to be willing to compete against yourself. And you've got to be willing to sacrifice things. And, one of the things I'm willing to sacrifice, I told you I'll go broke. I'll die trying to reach my dream of winning a national championship as a college coach. And where that will be, I don't know. And that's the hard part, right? Everybody wants to know. But what will happen is that every obstacle, every hurdle, every step that I have to take to get closer makes me a much better coach, a much better person. And so I have 100 steps to climb to reach my finish journey. I have 100 steps, a bajillion steps to reach my finances goals. And my finances goal is to be rich, to not have to worry about, buying this. How much money do you have in the bank account? And people will be like, oh, money doesn't buy happiness. But for me, I want to be able to take care of my inner circle, my loved ones, and just say, don't worry about it. Coach Zai's got you. I want to be a great leader. I want to be a great coach. I want to be a great role model. I want to be a great father. And so all those things. And so that's why I told you the last year has been, I've grown up so much. And I wish that this would have happened when I was 18. I really do. But everything happens for a reason. Whether you believe in God, whether you're super religious, whether, whatever it is, everything happens for a reason. And I had to learn to believe that. And, growing up, I wasn't super religious. And now I have people that text me Bible verses and, people share stuff. And I don't really get posts on social media and that. I'll never be like that. But I read it and I relate to it. And I'm like, okay, that's sweet. That's awesome. And I'm learning it. And like I said, I'll never be super. It's just not who I am. But, it doesn't mean that I can't process it and do that. And that's the stuff. You got to be willing to try new things. So at the end of the day, I want to thank the people that have stuck with me. I want to thank the people that support me. I want to thank the people that push me to be better. If you've believed in me, I appreciate that. I really do. That's straight from the heart. That's love. That's LUV. But I just, I want to share this with you guys, and I want to get on every week and tell you a little bit more and more, and how I'm going to get closer, and when this all happens, it's going to be awesome, right? It's going to be awesome. But I want to tell you that's a struggle, and if you're struggling, I've been there. I've dealt with it, and there's so many different ways to deal with things, and there's the good and the bad, and I've done it all. I promise you guys that much. And I don't want anybody to feel bad for me. Please do not feel bad for me. I've made one too many mistakes in my life. Let's just put it that way. But I'm not afraid to talk about them anymore, and I was afraid. And you know what? I don't need the negativity in my life. It won't bother me though. If people comment negative stuff, if people do this and that, it doesn't bother me. I post my workouts on YouTube, on TikTok, all that stuff, and some people bad form, this and that, and I might text it to a buddy. I text it to Trav a lot, and it doesn't really bother me. I find it comical now, because you know what, I'm in there getting better. That's what you should be commenting, right? And that, it gets me fired up, but it doesn't. I don't let it bother me, because at the end of the day, if I know I'm getting better, that's how it is. So if you listen to this, I appreciate it. Throw a comment. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it, but you want to get something off your chest, add me on one of the social medias. I would, I'll be there for you. There's no judgment here, because I promise you, if you're in that situation, I've been there, or worse, whether it's with relationships, money, getting fired, failing at your job, whatever it is in life, feeling like you're not enough for your significant other. I've been there, and probably to some degree that I wasn't enough, and all those things. And, at the end of the day, like I said, you have a choice. And when I'm talking about dreams and that's what this all started about, right? If there was a topic I wanted to talk about, it was the dream. How do you really get to your dream? The number one thing is that you can point the finger. I can say this, and this, and this, and this, and this happened to me, and that's why I didn't accomplish my dream. Or I can point the finger at myself and say, you know what? Check. It's time to go to work. That's what this is about. If you can take anything away, the finger doesn't go that way. It does no good when it goes that way. I told you I spent 29 years doing that. Don't do it. Point the finger right here in your chest. Check these things off and get to fucking work. You versus you, baby. And just do that, and good things will come. And they might not come as fast as you want. Trust me, when I got down here, I thought I'd be back into coaching already. I wanted to be. and some opportunities haven't worked out the way I thought they would. But there's a there's a reason for those things. I wasn't ready, and again, it's not a rush, but I'm ready. I'm back. I'm just talking about it. I'm ready to go work out because my adrenaline is flowing. That's how passionate I am about the game, and I just want to share it with you guys. And I hope that somebody listens to this and it helps them. And that's what what these podcasts and these videos I post, they're all about. And if you guys have questions, if you have advice, anything, comment, message me, whatever it takes. I'm always here. I'm always open. I love hearing stories, experiences. I love learning from everybody. But I just wanted to share my journey with you guys. It's been crazy. It's been up and down, like a roller coaster. And it all came down to Zai, And what do I want Coach Zai to be? And I want Coach Zai to be, and I'll finish with this, a leader, somebody that outworks everybody, somebody that shows the youth and the players and the people that I get involved with how much I love the game and how much I love life. And not only that, how much I love myself and my loved ones. And I just want to be able to, I want to compete at a high level. I want to win. Everybody should want to win. Everybody wants to win deep down, right? I want to win. I hate losing much more than I enjoy winning, if that makes sense. And that is even in life. And I think that's something that has dug in me, is that quote right there, is that I felt like I've been a loser for 29 years. And I'm starting to change that. So you write your own book, man. You can read all the books. You can listen to all the motivation. But at the end of the day, are you pointing the finger, or is the finger pointed at you? I've learned to point the finger at myself, and it's made a huge difference, and I've got a long ways to go. So don't think like, oh, Zai's bragging. No, Zai has the confidence to share his story that he was a dumbass, and it was time to get to work and point the finger and grow up. And I wish I would have learned that when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, but I didn't learn it until I was 30. And it's crazy to think about, and I'm confident to share my story. That's how I know that I'm pointing the finger at myself. So I appreciate y'all. You guys know the drill. It is March 2nd. Tell your loved ones you love them. Stay blessed. Follow me on all the social medias. Let me know what you guys think. I hope people actually listen and watch. I know I was all over the place. I had notes of words and stuff that I wanted to talk about. I think I talked about the majority of everything. But like I said, which way are you pointing the finger? If you can take anything about that, you're the only person that limits your dreams and doesn't allow you to get to your dream. And what I think a lot of times is that you might have a dream, and what you would figure out is that you would be able to exceed that dream if you're really pointing the finger at yourself and you're dialed in, right? That's what it comes down to. So I hope you all go on your journeys with me, and man, we can go make this world a better place, because that's what it's about. We're only here for so long. Let's not waste time. Let's not waste a day. Let's not blame somebody else. Let's point the finger at ourselves and let's get better, man. If we do that, this world's going to become a much better place, and it's going to set up for our children, next generations, and everything just around us will get better. Tell your loved ones you love them. Stay blessed. Go Blue. Big week for Michigan basketball this week. Coach Zai, out.